Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Brian Stutland, Chief Investment Officer at Equity Armor Investments, to discuss what the movement in volatility is suggesting in terms of market direction and rally sustainability. Brian, it's great to see you as always. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me, Jill.
You got it. Let's start with the SMH, of course, the semi ETF here. What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, when you take a look at it, semiconductors have been off to a terrific year to start this year. Names like NVIDIA, AMD up tremendous out of the start. And when you look at the technicals on the chart in something like SMH, it looks like a typical, prototypical head and shoulders bottom with a breakout to the upside right now. And what I typically have found is when semis start to lead the way like that and break out to the upside, usually the rest of the Nasdaq gets pulled with it to the upside. So this is a very bullish move right now that I'm seeing in some of the technical movement here in the semiconductor index.
What if we take a look at the broader Nasdaq 100 index?
Yeah, sure. I mean, when you take a look at this in the level of volatility and the movement that the Nasdaq has had, we sort of saw it kind of make a double bottom here back in mid-December, sort of bounce off those lows. If we push through, like, let's say, call it 12,100 level here on the Nasdaq, to me, on a technical basis, there's nothing but an air pocket all the way up to 12,900, and there's really nothing stopping that. When volatility declines like this that we've seen in the marketplace, things like VolQ and other volatility indexes that are out there in the market decline such that they did, where basically insurers are taking off their puts, selling puts almost into the sell-offs, and then we see this whole market turn around and bounce. Like I said, that technical level gets breached in the Nasdaq. I think we're moving to the upside, and there's still some earnings out, big names coming up over the next, let's call it 10 days, that could really lift the Nasdaq to higher levels.
Right. And speaking of, let's talk about Intel and what you're expecting out of earnings.
Yeah, Intel up here. And you know, hey, look, when you look at the options market on Intel right now, what we have seen is open interest really decline on the call side. And, you know, at first glance, I would say, well, wait a minute, does that mean there's not, you know, people aren't interested to the upside? No, actually, what we're seeing is people that typically sell calls and buy right their stock position, they have not done that. When the leap of options in January came off, we didn't see people rolling and selling more calls. To me, that says there's upside in Intel. People don't want to get called away too early after the dramatic sell-off that stock has seen over the last year. So to me, this earnings picture could be good for the stock. The stock moves up a little bit higher. Let's call it, you know, 4 or 5% move to the upside. Option traders expecting greater move than that after earnings here. We see a big move to the upside, and boom, all of a sudden, you know, Intel could be up at 35 bucks.
All right, Brian, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.